The trade embargo with Cuba gets personal with business leaders here in Columbus.
Engage Cuba is a new Washington-based coalition that believes the economy would benefit from lifting the 55-year-old embargo. NBC4's Katie Love sat down with a Columbus man who immigrated from Cuba as a boy.
For a country that's less than 100 miles from U.S. soil, it's obvious that the relationship between the U.S. and Cuba has started to change since Obama became the first sitting president in 80 years to visit the country. Now an attorney in Columbus who is from Cuba is trying to strike down the trade embargo that he says is doing more harm than good. Behind this smile is a little boy in Cuba whose whole life is about to change. In 1963, Luis Alcalde's father just got out of prison after being arrested during the Bay of Pigs invasion. Disagreeing with the communist government run by Fidel Castro, Luis's family left everything they had and everyone they knew to move to Columbus through a refugee resettlement program.
Classic Cuban picture, right? You know.
Yeah. Now Luis is an attorney and is using his history to make a difference in Cuba's future.
I know Cuba. I mean, I'm Cuban American. I go to Cuba all the time. I know the natural affinity of the Cuban people for U.S. culture. There are 2 million Cubans in the United States, and I just know that the more we interact with Cuba, the more Cuba is going to be our ally and our friend.
Engage Cuba chose Luis to be on the Ohio State Council to help end the trade embargo between the U.S. and Cuba, believing it'll only help businesses right here in our area by providing manufacturers with new access to a market, including agriculturally. Ohio's largest agricultural export are soybeans, and of Cuba's $2 billion in agricultural imports, 13% are soybeans, meaning the demand is high. But according to Engage Cuba, the U.S. is losing all those opportunities to Brazil and Argentina.
What is really going to create change in Cuba is to have normal relations with them. I mean, I have seen more changes in Cuba in the last 3 years that I have seen in the last 16 years.
Engage Cuba said they did a survey right here in Ohio and found that 78% of people living here believe that the embargo should be struck down, but that requires a vote from Congress.
Not surprisingly here, tourism from the United States to Cuba has started to pick up. The hotel industry in Havana is booming, and new hotels are now being built just to handle the influx of all those visitors.